Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
I'm checking. I can hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. What is that in your background?
That is Nvidia's statements from the last couple of quarters. Today, of course, is one of the biggest days of our lifetimes as traders. We got Nvidia earnings coming out in just about 10 minutes or so. So we will take a look at the Nvidia earnings in just a few. And why do we look at Nvidia? It's because it is the heaviest weighted company in the Nasdaq and the S&P. It pretty much drives the world right now of AI and tech in general. So as Nvidia goes, the markets are going to go as well. So we'll take a look here in just a moment. Again, about 10 minutes or so before that Nvidia print comes out. Take a look at what is expected. Earnings per share expectations, $1.54. Revenue estimates 66.13 billion. It seems like everyone's expecting Nvidia to beat their earnings, right? There's been a ton of money moving around in the tech space from the quote unquote hyperscalers, the big tech companies that are gearing up for the next wave of the technology revolution, which is AI. So a bunch of spend on compute power, data centers, and stuff like that. So I don't know that anyone's expecting Nvidia to miss on anything here, Coach Paul.
No, the way the market acted the last 2 days, we definitely had some short covering or beginning of a rally reflecting, I think, in front of this Nvidia number. So the basic structure is expectation of a good number, um, but we don't know. So all I know is now my life has changed with AI, and I, I, I've I was there for the beginning of the internet age,
Yeah,
and this feels exactly like it. Um,
there you
you probably most of you probably can't imagine a world without the internet,
right.
and now it's getting to be. I can't imagine a world without AI. I use it all the time. It's just a great tool.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will see again those Nvidia numbers. We're expecting them in about 10, maybe a little less than 10 minutes now. Should be at the 20 mark. So in about 7 minutes here. Uh, Take a look at where Nvidia is trading right now. Uh, Closed the market at around $195.63. Uh, Expected move from what I've seen is not really big, right? We've seen some bigger earnings moves. Sometimes the expected move is 25% or 40% or 15%. Uh, Implied volatility expected move is 4% in either direction, about 4.5% in either direction. So that would put us somewhere up near $203 or down near $187. Anything outside of that, would be more than what we've expected. If you look at the Nvidia chart, it looks a lot like the Nasdaq chart, right? We haven't made an all-time high since October 29th. In the Nasdaq futures, we haven't made an all-time high since October 30th. And again, as Nvidia goes, the markets are going to go as well. Um, we talked to Jessica Inskip earlier this week on the opening call on Monday. We talked about potential catalysts to maybe get us out of this range, Coach Paul. Can Nvidia do it? We will
Yeah.
see.
Well, I'm using AI right now to check out the consensus estimates.
Okay, what are you saying there?
So maybe I had some help in their earnings, but expected is from a dollar 52 to a dollar 54 range,
Okay,
year on year growth around 70%. This is a stunning number to me.
yeah, right.
It's, revenue um, range expectations $65.5 billion to 66.2 billion dollars with a B. Year on year growth on revenue up expected to be up 67 to 68%. So you can tell why this this is a very important
Absolutely.
stock. And now they're expecting that I have its next quarter's guide for Q1 of What? Of 27? I'll skip that.
Yeah, I'll skip that one. I think one of the big things, as far as revenue goes, um, I think Nvidia was not able to deliver some of those H200, a bunch of those H200 chips to China yet. So does that get included in, this quarter's numbers? There are some other chips as well, but that H200 China, huge customer there. If they're not able to deliver there, what happens? Forward guidance, of course, is going to tell us what to expect going forward. We can hear that from the earnings call after the fact, after the numbers are out. But we're going to see the knee-jerk reaction here. I'll get the weightings in just a second in the Nasdaq and the S&P. It is the number one weighted stock in both of those. Again, one of the things we talked about with Jessica this earlier this week was there's more breadth in the market right now, right? 2025 was all about the Nvidia story, the AI story, how that's dragging the markets higher. But there's a lot more, seems like a lot more investment in traditional IT companies, which makes sense, right? Nvidia sells the hardware, but you need the infrastructure as well. So if there's more infrastructure going into, more money going into IT infrastructure and services, makes a ton of sense there. Salesforce also reporting their earnings after the call, after the close here. Sees Q1 revenue 11.03 billion. Estimates were 10.99. They're increasing their share buyback as well. There's a lot of questions right now, Coach Paul, about the future of software, especially with what we're talking about, right? With AI, it feels like everyone is building their own software right now, with the help of
Well,
AI.
it's with the help of AI and Salesforce. I have a friend who's an executive with them.
Okay.
I laughed at, "What are you gonna do when AI takes over your business?" And he
Yeah.
looked at me, smiled, he goes, "We are AI business. We're one of the
Right.
original drivers. We're not
Yeah.
a software business.
Right.
We're a
Right.
data company." So, um, is software as a service, I would ask you, I'm gonna throw this back to you. You were in
Yeah.
that business. What are your insights?
So I think enterprise software is tough to replace. So I don't think Salesforce is going anywhere, right? Just from looking at how, from my experience, enterprises even purchase software, uh, it's an investment that's made, and they're going to let that investment play out right over time. So it's not something that'll be quickly removed. So for me, I think what's really interesting is the uh, everyone's can build their own app at home and things like that for the consumer, but enterprise AI solutions, right? What do those look like? That to me will tell a big story. But we got a couple minutes. JD says, I understood this would be a party. JD, if you want an invite, I can send you the link if you want to join us here. We got NVIDIA earnings coming up in about a minute and 30 seconds. Looking at the weighting in the NASDAQ, 13.96% weighting in the NASDAQ in NVIDIA, the number one weighted company there. And in the S&P,
13%?
13, yeah, almost 14%. 14%.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, 14%. And in the S&P, 7.59%. Again, the number one weighted company there as well. So we will see. I think a lot of the story is do we get a beat here? And does this break us out of this range? I think we've had earnings since we've been in this consolidation, right? Haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we have. And it really didn't do too much. So we will see
No.
here. The last earnings report was in November. You can see the knee jerk reaction. We're pretty much trading right there right now, right at that high, $195. We've been in this consolidation. Is this going to be the report that brings us out of this range? About 30 seconds or so here. If we want, turn this into a party. I can turn some music on, but let's see. Let's get the music on after these numbers come out.
What kind of music would be apropos for a
I
NVIDIA
don't know.
party?
I don't know. Play something celebratory. Who has exposure in the chat? Who has exposure to Nvidia right now? I bought some shares when we were at $104, so holding on to those. I do not have as good of a price as Hogue, but have some exposure here. Not too worried about it. Curious who has a zero DTE option on right now in Nvidia.
Who's gambling?
Right. All right, let's see here.
Uh-huh.
Nothing yet. The numbers should come out in just a minute here.
And
Waiting. Waiting.
well, we could just look at the chart.
Oh,
It'll
yeah, we'll
tell
see it
us.
in the chart for sure. See it in the chart here.
Waiting.
Nothing yet. Bueller.
Bueller.
Phenom Z says I have some leaps at 150. Who else? I know there's somebody else in the chat with exposure to Nvidia. Are you all just trading right now? Is that's what's happening? Here again, Nvidia closed the day around $195.78. Like waiting for that Supreme Court decision with the tariffs. Nvidia's not going to pump fake us here, are they? Are they, Coach Paul? I've never seen that happen before. But hey, ACH
Well, well, we just had some companies release their earnings early,
early, right? Yeah,
but I don't. I would be. I would. It would raise a huge red flag if they just didn't release them for some reason.
absolutely. Switching over to Salesforce really quick. This is a Salesforce chart. We can see
Okay.
closed the market at $191, spiked up to about 200, and then sold back off to 185 right now. That is Salesforce, which has been getting beat up
Kind of
over the
looks like
past.
Bitcoin chart.
Yeah, it looks almost exactly like the Bitcoin chart, and started that sell off right around the same time Bitcoin did as well. It looks like in October. But here we go. Let's go back to Nvidia. Are we seeing anything yet? Nothing just yet. Implied volatility 10 points on Nvidia. Yep, about 4%. 4% is what I'm seeing in either direction. 4 to 4.5%. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. There was some headlines right before the close, which I think is always interesting, right? It's funny how these headlines are timed. China AI lab DeepSeek. Remember DeepSeek, everybody? Withholds upcoming model from Nvidia and AMD. DeepSeek low-cost model routed global markets last year has not shown U.S. chip makers its upcoming flagship model. Everybody remember DeepSeek? Everyone thought DeepSeek was the reason we sold off, and then tariffs happened. The real news came out.
Well, since this is an Nvidia party,
Yeah.
what would you, if you were a bartender or what, a mixologist,
What's the drink?
what would you make?
What's
What's
the
the
drink of
drink?
choice? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I'll leave that out to our chat.
What is the drink of choice for your Nvidia earnings? I just left Mexico. I could do a mezcalita right now.
Yeah, that's my.
I could do a mezcalita for sure. Wow, what is going on here? Delayed numbers. We are not seeing them yet. Nothing in the market reaction. And we'll see it in the market first before we get the number. Nerd Flavor says, Nerd Flavor's falling asleep in the chat here. Get some music going. Maybe that'll
Yeah,
do
let's
it.
get some movie going.
Do it. Keeping an eye on the charts here. And that number is supposed to come out right at the 20 mark. We are 4 minutes late at this point.
Well, let me put my tin hat on.
What are you thinking? If it's late, it's not a good number?
No, I'm putting it on, trying to make up a reason. I don't know,
Right.
but it's like someone. I hope they weren't using AI to release this.
uh
In the meantime,
Let's see. We didn't do our intro. We could do that, right? Welcome to At the
let's do
Buzzer. If
our
you're
intro.
a new viewer, welcome to At the Buzzer, to all of our buzzer beaters. I am Jay, been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023. That is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself while we wait for this Nvidia print to come out.
I am Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. here to share some of my experience, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Stuff. Chat, let me know if the music is too loud. I don't think my messages are coming through on the chat, so let me know if loud if we play it. Uh, try to keep it in the background again. Waiting for this Nvidia to come out. Dan Emmons says Nvidia barely moving, and the number didn't come out yet. Number has not come out. We got very interesting day, right? We saw some weird stuff in the market, Coach Paul. The metals
Yeah.
and natural gas locking up. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But interesting stuff going on today for sure.
Now, that structure in the metals, was that gold, silver,
It was
and
so
natural gas?
it was so yeah, gold. I think it was all COMEX data. So everything COMEX. So it was the metals, it was natural gas.
Natural gas is NYMEX, though.
Is
That's what I
it?
was asking.
But yeah, I mean that was halted as well.
Hmm.
That was halted as
Well,
well. Gold did eventually come back online and sold off pretty aggressively. I know, a lot of people have
we're
been
making new highs in NASDAQ.
all right, here we go. Did we get it? Nothing yet. In Nvidia, still trading $196. NASDAQ just made new highs.
Yeah.
Okay, seen a little bit of a spike there in the NASDAQ. Where are you, Nvidia?
Such a big number. It's hard from the carry it through the through the evening.
What is? This is now a 7-minute delay. Not too long, but Coach Paul, any exposure to Nvidia on your side?
No, I am long the NASDAQ in my
There you go.
personal accounts.
There you go.
So I guess I have 18%.
Oh, yeah, 14%.
14% the NASDAQ long.
14%. Kevin saying ran out of popcorn waiting. Make another bag. Pour another drink. Get another is it margarita? No, it's Margarita Monday for you, Kevin.
Well, what's a drink that starts with an N?
A Negroni.
A Negroni and vodka. Being
Yeah, there you go.
Nvidia.
Right. Let's see.
Shaken and not stirred.
Brandon says this is going to run to 25,500 in the NASDAQ. Potentially.
Yeah. Within a shot. I hope you're right.
Whiskey Wednesday. Wine Wednesday for me if I was going to drink anything, but I got to be on at slow markets later, so it's going to be all water Wednesday here. Water Wednesday. We just wait, Coach Paul. We just wait.
Should we do an analysis of NASDAQ while we're waiting?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, I guess my invite to Jensen didn't get through the mail. So
he's a little busy pushing those earnings down the internet.
Right. Let's take a look then at NASDAQ here, and we'll wait until that Nvidia earnings come out. Take a look at the daily in the NASDAQ. What are you seeing here, Coach Paul?
I see we're at the end. We're rotating higher. Finally, we've released some of that downward pressure. The coiling is starting to unwind. Looks friendly to me. We're still on light volume, but the downward pressure seems to have abated.
Okay.
To me, it looks like we got a good shot of starting a rally.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, same. We've been in this range for a while. I mapped out that October 10th candle. We still have it mapped out here. We've been in the middle of it. We were talking during the opening call this morning, but if this is a good print after Nvidia, do we trade back up to the high of the October 10th candle? That has to be the first line in the sand for me as far as a potential target goes. And then outside of that, is this enough of a catalyst to get us out of this range that we've been in? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it will be, especially with some of the expectations that we're seeing. 4% move in Nvidia is not going to do it. right? Not going to get us out of this 5-month consolidation that we've been in. So looking at the moving averages that we have here, the 20 is below the 50, which is pretty much near the high of the session right now. 25,450 is the high of the session there. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, nothing out yet. Not seeing a reaction in Nvidia. But that's what we got in the Nasdaq. Really nice day today. Honestly, a bigger range than I expected today. 431 points, high to low range today. When the daily ATR is 455, I think a lot of people were expecting more consolidation on a pre-Nvidia number, but maybe the number's already out.
Could be short covering of Nvidia.
Could be. It could be.
I think we broke that downtrend line from the all-time highs.
You had it drawn on the daily?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, from this all-time high.
Oh no, from the last.
From this high, yeah, we broke that. Yep, that is broken. Nasdaq up almost 1.5% today.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Video just popped.
And
Let's
there
get
we go.
back
2,500 almost.
And right back down. Spiked up to 201. So that was
Spiking.
lower than that 4% move forward now. Let's see those numbers here. It's definitely out. I'll turn the music off for now. Let's focus on what we got here. Nvidia trading $201. The number is definitely out here. Okay. Adjusted earnings per share came in at $1.62. The estimates were $1.54. Share came in at $1.62. Estimates were $1.54. Revenues came in at $68.1 billion. Estimates were $65.91 billion. We're going to see where a lot of that spend is. Again, ton of CapEx expenditure from hyperscalers in data centers, compute power, and things like that, which a lot of that is going to come to Nvidia. We've seen it was pretty much every day, either Nvidia was spending $1 billion somewhere or somebody else was spending $1 billion with Nvidia. So a ton of money moving around. So I don't think there's a surprise that we've seen, we see a beat in revenues and earnings per share. And a couple of questions that are out right now on Nvidia. The China story, right? If they're not able to deliver the H200 chips to China, and what happens with all this AI spend going forward. But pretty nice spike there in Nvidia. Again, closed the market around $195, trading up at 245 right now. Heaviest weighted company in both the Nasdaq and the S&P. So why do we focus on it if we trade futures? 14% of the Nasdaq, 8% of the S&P. As Nvidia goes, the Nasdaq and the S&P are going to go as well here. And we'll bring you the rest of the data as it comes in. Take a look at the Nasdaq chart. Switch back over there.
Yeah, that's very friendly action.
Yep.
Like I said, I think we've seen that low. I'm going to be bold and say within the next month we have a great chance of making all-time highs. So after this number, the compression's over to me. So
Hopefully so, Coach Paul. Hopefully so. I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of tired of talking about this October 10th candle, even though it's a really nice range to trade. Right? It's presented enough opportunity to us, but it's like, why is this guy living in the past? Why does he keep talking about October 10th? Somebody actually asked that today. They're like, why is that candle significant? It is because it is. I really don't have another reason to. The market hasn't had a reason to trade outside of this range, and it's been 96 trading days, and we're still talking about this range, 138 calendar days. This is probably the most consolidated I've seen the equity markets from what I can remember trading them for this long of a period. But could this be it? Again, we got PPI on Friday. Push back over to this video chart real quick, and then we'll get into our regularly scheduled program. But Nvidia continuing to push higher here, trading $201.95. And the
onward and upward.
Onward and upward. The estimated move was 4%, which would put us right around $204. Dan Emmons says August 2014 to April 2016, we stayed in a 20-month range. Do I remember that? How long ago? That was 10 years ago? I would have to look back and remember. I wasn't really trading equities then. I was trading stocks, so maybe I missed it, but uh, trading small caps at the time. 3.5%
Well,
move. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead, Coach Paul.
there's no, this is just pure allocation. I said the earlier we had that set up where we're flat. Today we start rallying, like you said, unexpectedly large.
Right.
So that set off some alarms for me. This is in front of Nvidia earnings. Who would be buying this?
Yeah.
To me, in my experience, it would be the people who are short.
Right.
Um, and they couldn't find. They had to search. They had to reach. I've been in that situation. Like you're looking for a pullback to buy, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So raising the bids, and that's why I think this down move, the way I see it, is kind of over. Now that's a probabilistic statement. There is no certainty, but great movement, good numbers. Give me a reason to get short.
There we go. Just some more updates here. NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang said Grace Blackwell with NVLink is the king of inference. Hyperscalers were just over 50% of Q4 data center revenue, and the hyperscalers, the Amazons, the Apples, Microsoft, data center revenue up nearly 13 times since ChatGPT emergence. It's insane. Data center revenue up 13 times since ChatGPT's emergence. So all the billions of dollars that we see moving around into AI,
Will
that's
soon
what
be
you
trillions.
right? Yeah, soon to be trillions for sure. Nvidia Q4 gaming revenue growth driven by strong Blackwell demand. Really nice spike there in Nvidia. The earnings call will be in about 40 minutes or so. If you wanted to join there, if you are an Nvidia investor or just curious about the forward guidance, make sure you take a listen to that earnings call or just read some notes afterward. Maybe you feed the transcript of the earnings call to ChatGPT uh, and have it do the work for you. There we
Yeah.
have it. NVIDIA sees supply constraints for gaming in Q1 and beyond. Chips are they're expensive. They are expensive. All right. Anything
Do
else you
you
got?
own any?
NVIDIA chips? No. No. Yeah, I do have an
I
NVIDIA
have
chip.
one.
I have an NVIDIA chip in this computer. Yeah. Too.
Yes, me too. A GeForce RTX.
There you go.
I don't know what that means. It's an NVIDIA. It does. It is a gaming laptop,
Yeah,
and it made a big difference in my performance.
absolutely.
I do not lag,
Absolutely.
especially on downloading. So
I'll tell you what it
it's a
means,
great.
Coach Paul. It means you contributed to the NVIDIA revenue. Uh,
Yes, I did.
you're an
Proud
investor
of
whether
it.
you like it or not.
Well, I'm all in AI.
Yeah.
I'll volunteer at my age to be the first robot human.
Oh,
What do I have to lose?
yeah,
But so excellent, excellent action out of this
for
report
sure.
for me.
For sure. Again, that earnings call is going to be a little bit later. NVIDIA Q4 gross margin aided by lower inventory provisions. So we're just seeing headlines continue to come out. We're going to get to our regularly scheduled program. Again, if you are a new viewer here, thanks for joining. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button. I don't know why that number was so delayed. I guess it was 10 minutes delayed, right? So we expected it at 4:20 Eastern time, came out at exactly 4:30. Don't know that I've seen that happen. NVIDIA is usually pretty prompt with that number, but hey, ACH. ACH. Let's take a look at the quote board. There are 36 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts. And today, to the downside, we had the Ultra bonds down 0.24%, the Japanese yen down 0.42%, and wheat futures, our biggest percentage mover to the downside, down 0.52%. To the upside, we have platinum up 5.14%, micro Bitcoin up 7.65%, and micro Ethereum, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 14.06% on the day. Yes, you can trade crypto with Topstep accounts. Micro Bitcoin, is this a relief bounce? Are there new buyers stepping into this market? That is yet to be determined. A nice bounce there in micro Ethereum as well. To talk about our big four, we had crude oil down 0.17% on the day. The S&P up 1.07%. Gold down 0.19%. Very weird day in gold. And the NASDAQ up 1.81% on the day right now. We took a look at the NASDAQ, Coach Paul. Let's kind of break down what happened today. On the daily, we already said it here. I think we're at that 50 moving average right now. What do you anything else you want to mention on the daily here?
Um, well, I was gonna say we reached a 50 moving average. We're over a 20, but it's the breadth or the size of this rally. Um, and once again, great buying short covering early. If we look at the half hour, I mean, on we made the low, I think last night on the opening, did we not?
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
So, I mean, all day, like what I was saying, there was this just to me it was short covering in front of a major number,
Right.
and they couldn't find the size that they needed, whether
Mm,
it's fresh buying or it's short covering. The buyers were in control, but in control of a manner was they had a reach.
yeah.
There was not much offered there, and we could see that just looking at VWAP itself.
Uh,
Even from yesterday to today, it's just been almost a greater than a 45-degree angle. So that is very healthy for me. To me, this is a breakout.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what will be interesting to see is the open interest tomorrow when we do the opening call. Was this short covering? And the story you kind of put together makes sense, Coach Paul, right? If it's the biggest earnings report in the market, and I'm sure, do I want to hold that position if the market has not been breaking down? So, we've been in this range. We just left the lower extreme of the range, and some short covering could definitely fuel a move like this today. Really nice trade here. We'll go down to a shorter time frame, and you're a new viewer, we're going to mention something called the urgency trade. Shout out to Dan Emmons. I saw you post on Twitter and in the chat that you took this urgency trade in the NASDAQ. I was not taking this trade. I was actually taking another trade. We'll go over that breakdown just a little bit, but urgency. So I look at a 3-minute opening range on the equity open. Here's that first 3 minutes. Pretty big range there in the NASDAQ. But we had price and volume leave that range fairly early, where, again, in the first 30 minutes of the market being open, we had a 200-point rally. After that, to me, Coach Paul, this was a mess.
Well, yeah, like you said, there's urgency on top of last night's rally, so there
Right.
was no hesitancy. There was like it was continuation all day long until we slowed down.
Yeah.
So after the first hour,
Mhm.
initial balance was set and we meandered.
Yeah.
Um, and this was a key to me. That's why I saw this coming this morning because of the extension. First of all, look at the session VWAP. That's just
Yeah.
we did not close below it when Euro after Europe opened, right? I think so.
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
So we had a respite, but we didn't roll back. What I mean is, we didn't have a compression trade where we've been seeing it. So we reach, I'm looking at on my pivots, we reached the first level of resistance or a little above it, and we stopped. Today we held that into that slow time. So there wasn't a reactive selling. The selling is really kind of been cut off.
Yeah.
To me, that is a break of pattern. And it didn't surprise me to see this rally. I didn't call it. I'm just reading it.
Right.
So we changed the pattern, and it really started yesterday. But look, look yeah, I think we had a J trade on those lows yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
Okay, that's where the selling is exhausted at the lows. We're not getting follow through. And when we look at a session VWAP, it's moving at a 45-degree angle. It doesn't, that reflects what? If we just if we put a line chart, so I'll do this a couple times a day to get that idea. A line chart shows it takes away that verticality, and it's just in a flow. It's being pulled higher. It was tough to get short. How
Yes, it
long did
was.
it? So,
I,
and it's reflected in that VWAP.
I'm gonna take that as a win today, not getting short in the Nasdaq. Really nice, strong push to the upside, kind of all day. Again, I could understand the temptation to get short, especially once we slowed down after that initial spike. But it was just never really there. Like you said, Coach Paul, looking at the delta information, delta, the difference between market order buys and sells, it was positive the entire day. Um, there was never really an aggressive seller that could gain traction in this market. Um, and maybe some of the money was moving from the Nasdaq to different equity market, or moving from this equity market into the Nasdaq, the Russell. We've talked about this
Ah,
before, somewhat of an inverse correlation. The trades I took today, I don't have the live account open here because I don't have the data for everything else. But the trades I took today were the exact opposite trade in the Russell. Uh, we had urgency to the downside. Take a look at the Russell really quick on the daily. Very similar. All the equity markets are all kind of doing the same thing, still in this range. And I think the biggest key for me, Coach Paul, in trading this stuff is, what is the market telling you today?
in the moment.
In the moment. In the moment. There is no, you like the metals 2 months ago, the metals 3 months ago. If you were shorting, you were probably doing something wrong. And could you make money to the short side in the metals a couple months ago? You could, but it was a one directional market on a higher time frame. The equities are not that right now, right? So I think there's opportunity depending on the equity market that you're looking at on both sides almost every day. And if you're glued to a bias in this 6 month range, I think you're really going to be in trouble. Um, but if you can say, okay, I'm just going to wait to see what is on the menu for today and trade that thing, uh, there's a ton of opportunity here. Uh, Here's the trade in the Russell and 3 minute opening range. Go ahead, coach.
Well, I just that was such to me a signal for the Nasdaq. We've
Yeah.
been saying for how long, and Nasdaq has been the dog of this
Yep.
of the equities, and immediately it was sell Rusty to buy Nasdaq.
Correct.
It's it was like if you inverted that, you have the Nasdaq action.
Oh yeah.
It was urgency on the sell side. Look at that.
Uh,
That gave me more confidence in the Nasdaq trade. It was so fast I couldn't keep up with them. I didn't get a chance to sell Rusty.
oh yeah. Yeah. That
Turn
was
around because that was quick.
We got the Russell on the left here, the Nasdaq on the right. Both of those opening ranges framed out, and again, it is the inverse trade. I think if I didn't have, so on my live account with Topstep, I have the Nasdaq locked out. I can't trade the big contract. Um, I think if I didn't have it locked out, I probably would have been long. But looked at the Russell and said, okay, this is a clear example as well. I'm just going to take the short here. It gave us a couple decent opportunities as well. This little spike down here, 2653s, was settlement in the Russell. We popped back up, held that VWAP again, and then I got short again, which turned out to be a pretty good trade there. Completely different story in the S&P and the Dow, at least early, right? We didn't have that same urgency in the S&P. We didn't break out of this range for the first 2 hours. Much tougher trade today. We kind of slow grind up. Less weight in the S&P than in the Nasdaq in Nvidia, right? 8% as opposed to 14%. And then the Dow couldn't figure out what the hell to do. Uh, the Dow was
Well,
a mess.
the Dow was a mess, and it's been that way for about a week now.
Yep.
Now we've been talking it's the one that made the all-time high. I
Hmm.
think what was that, a week ago? It's
About two
been
weeks ago.
so 2 weeks ago, and it's been like you said, it's been a mess since then. So what
Yeah.
is that telling us? Well, before risk on, the risk on, risk off trade, where Dow, large money managers will never lose their job by buying blue chip stocks.
Mm.
You just- but Nvidia, that's a wild ride. You could lose your job by over allocating to Nvidia. and accepting of that volatility into a fund. So now and that's why I said I got that feeling early. This is on. The risk is back on. It's getting back into the Nasdaq. When you reflected, you just said that mess of the Dow. It's running against a lot of what I'll call spread trading.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
awesome, a really good towels.
Really good there. Let's put a. I just put a test message in the chat in the YouTube chat. I think something's wrong with the YouTube chat because I don't see my messages coming up. So if somebody sees my test in the chat, just let me know. But
YouTube.
any in the YouTube chat, yeah. Anything else you're seeing on the equities, Coach Paul?
Uh, Nothing else. Oh, on that on Rusty
Okay.
had a nice turnaround on that half hour.
Oh, what is that?
Uh, thank you.
That
And
was my target for the short.
this is a double whammy.
Yeah,
We have the J trade, and look at VWAP.
yeah. It just
It got
turned.
back above VWAP, so that's selling to buy, and as it just was covering.
Yeah,
What was the low? The white line
the
in
white
that
line.
area where we wicked under it. We didn't volume under it. I'm actually very friendly to this.
Oh
I
yeah.
think
I
that was a great trade there.
So there was and yeah, the chat is definitely broken. I don't know what happened to YouTube chat, but it is definitely broken. There was a nice spike of volume here. Doesn't really show up too well, but in a very short period of time, there was a in a second there was like a 500 or so contracts that traded right at the lows in the Russell, right at that 200 moving average, and a really nice reversal pattern from there. And two-sided trade, these equity markets, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, they're not moving. It's shitty price action." It's not. It's just range bound. And whatever market you trade, there's what was 2 years ago a trending day in the Nasdaq is now just a move from the low to the high of the range, right? So take advantage of it. Don't over leverage. But I'm actually really liking trading the equities right now, Coach Paul.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that. You know what? One of the things to look is when we're watching markets, we're looking for our setup.
right,
It doesn't have to happen every day.
correct,
Sometimes a good setup might not come for 3 days,
right.
and that patience is now without patience or without the complete focus of executing a plan that is and jumping in just to make money can result in this is shitty market action.
Yeah,
I, you know why I say that? I've done it,
too many times.
right? So if you catch yourself saying that a lot, look inward
It's
because
it's you. It's not the market.
market doesn't care about me.
Right.
I don't. They didn't send me flowers on Valentine's. Doesn't write. Doesn't care. I don't
Yeah.
exist.
Right.
So, but actually, seriously, if you catch yourself in that, you have to start measuring your decision making through your results. Is this a trade that I just jumped in because it looks good? Or is it specific trades that I'm looking to execute?
Hundred
When
percent.
you can when you can line those up, you improve automatically. All
Agreed.
right.
Agreed. Let's take a look then at the metals. Again, the equities are reminding me a lot of the metals in the middle of 2025, right? Remember, everybody remember this consolidation that we had from April to September, basically, in gold. This equity range that we're seeing is about the same right now. Actually, let's measure this. Hold on one second. Gold, we made an all-time high, and then we didn't make another
What
one.
was almost 89 days, something like that?
It was 98 trading days, 96 trading days.
98.
We didn't make it. We
I'm
didn't
a
make a
little
new all-time high.
dyslexic.
In the Nasdaq, it is now. This is a very similar range. It has been 82 trading days since we've made an all-time high in the Nasdaq futures. So it's close. It is almost the same exact thing. And I remember last year saying that although the metals haven't gone anywhere on a higher time frame, they're kind of comfortable to trade because we know exactly where it's going to stop. Well, not exactly, but to a high probability, we know where it's going to stop. But right now in the metals,
With that said, I'm gonna throw a Fibonacci at you. What's the
okay,
89 is a Fibonacci number.
is it? Did not know that.
Yep, 55 plus 34.
Something new every day.
So when there's you can use Fibonacci's in time also, not just on price, on the vertical, on the horizontal in time. It was funny when you said that. I forgot. I should. It and none of this is exact, but that's a big time frame. It's a lot of days. So that's a quarter of the year.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Right,
So I'm glad you brought that up. I'm getting even a little more tinglish on my bullish side, my spidey senses. Um, and that remember, time is just important as price from a
right.
GAN point of view because we time is how long you can hold it. Now that might be not be specific to daytime. Well, it is day trading. How much time do you have?
23 hours.
Not much time.
Yeah,
You have to make decisions and be reasonable. That's what in your expectations. You have a small amount of time to execute and out. Um, but over time, the winners can hold.
yeah,
Losers have to move.
yep.
So it's another thing to look at in Fibonacci through time. And I'll leave it at that.
Fibs through time. Taking a look at gold here. Again, we had that major sell-off. We're gonna keep this mapped out on the charts because this was the sell-off that brought us from the all-time highs. I just saw a headline that says Bank of America is expecting gold 6,000 before the end of the year. Uh,
Oh,
w- we'll see. We got to get above this high first, and we got to stop having halts in the middle of the day uh, before everyone gets scared to trade it. Inside day on the daily, not much to really
yeah.
talk about here. We talked about this yesterday, kind of maybe a flagging pattern, kind of breaking out here. But on the 30-minute, what are we seeing here, Coach Paul?
Disappointing end of the day for bulls.
Yeah,
Um, um, now let's look at the flow. We had some urgency last night.
yep.
Now let's get that volume profile.
Volume profile. Click the wrong thing. Here we go. Volume profile here in
I'm
gold.
glad you do that. I feel like I was the only one who does that. All right. Now look at that. When it flipped up, it didn't move. It barely budged.
Yeah,
So what does that mean? I mean, that followed through the to new highs wasn't followed through with a higher point of control.
it was empty.
It was empty. It was empty. Whatever it was not solid buying. Um, so what time? Let's go to what it's 12:30 Central, 1:30 is the settlement close. Let's
Correct.
flame that candle out.
We can't because gold was
Oh,
closed.
wow.
Gold was closed.
Wow.
I thought it was very interesting that the data went down from the exchanges right at the close of silver. Uh,
And then
I
we
don't.
collapsed.
Yeah, and then we yeah once we open back up
Waiting
again,
for but what time did that Bank of America announcement come out?
about 4 hours ago. Yeah,
Mm,
about 4 hours
yeah,
ago.
about that time. I don't know. I don't have a tin hat. I could go on,
Yeah,
but I'm not. It doesn't matter to me. But the exhaustive that buying was air. Whether
yeah,
it was short covering into the close. Let's look at volume on that half hour. See if we had a spike in volume. If we had a spike in volume, that would take the point of control higher, wouldn't it?
it would. Yeah, no, we really didn't. It kind of just turned around. Kind of just turned around there.
And turned around, and then when we got back under VWAP and the point of control, it was vertical drop.
Yes, it was. We halted for an hour and 45 minutes in gold. And, I want to bring this up because there's a ton of opportunity to still trade in gold, but so many people are asking and they're like, why are they continuing to limit us? How come I can't trade 15 minis in gold if I wanted to? Coach Paul, you ever get caught in a halt?
I've got caught in a halt. I've got caught on limit moves.
Yeah,
You hang around enough, you'll find out.
right.
By the way, I'm just going to put it out here right now.
Yeah,
I've gone through crashes and crises and just about every imaginable move.
yeah.
It all looks great. You're going to sling 15 contracts.
I'm gonna sell them up
Right?
here. I'm gonna buy it down back down here. I'm gonna make $100,000 today. Easy.
First of all, in reality, the reality of being live trading,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. There's this thing called margin.
Yep.
We don't see it here, but there's two things. Position margin. That's what you need to have to hold a position on a one lot. I won't go through that. That's $35,000 per contract in the big gold.
Right.
Okay, let's just leave that out so no one here is holding positions. Day margin.
Day
Probably,
margin. I'm looking at my brokerage right now. Daytime margin for a big gold contract is $12,500, and that's a quote unquote discount brokerage,
yeah,
right? If
twelve
you're
and a
going to
half
like
thousand.
yeah, if you're going to like an IBKR or something like that, that might be closer to 50, 60 grand.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's and maybe they sound like the grumpy old man. I don't care. This is reality.
Right.
You can't put 15 bigs on unless you have what was that? 12, let's say it's 15,000. Let's just be 15,000 to put the position on a day trade
Yeah.
times 15.
Yep.
It's about $200,000.
That's just to play the game.
That's why
That's just the entry fee.
it's not realistic.
Yeah.
And that leads to that's literally gambling.
Yeah.
So uh, it was a great opportunity while it lasted. It's over. Realities come back here.
Yep.
There's nowhere you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Not only that, you don't have the account size to do it. How many people at Topstep have that big of an account?
Most of the people that I know that have bigger accounts at Topstep are not looking to trade the metals with full size because a big account, a quote unquote big account, can look real small when you're over leveraged especially in a halt. Uh, that could look real small. The market's a black hole at that point. You're just kind of praying to get out somewhere near where you were in that trade. Again, extreme thin markets. Is there opportunity? 100%. Take advantage of the opportunity while it's trading, but be cautious and understand that I don't know why the data went down. I don't know if anybody knows. And by the time we know, it's already too late. Too bad. Sorry. You're at the back of the line as far as oh, you're trading a small account. We care about your smaller account. So understand that
On top of that,
if you're trading the metals, you're accepting whatever comes with trading the metals right now. Uh, and today that was an hour and 45-minute halt. Uh, I know for me, anytime I've ever traded a stock that halted, I never touched it again. And I'm not saying that's the case for gold because I don't think gold is going anywhere, but it'll be a little while before I'm comfortable, especially putting on size trading gold right now. I don't even have the data on my live account because of the volatility. I didn't even pay for it. So
so that's the reality.
yeah,
I'm just saying you can make money on that. I agree, but we don't talk about it because we don't know it. The other people that have blown up.
fallen soldiers. Yeah,
The fallen soldiers, we don't get to talk to them.
No, no, we
And
don't.
and I'll leave it at that.
All right, there we go. Silver, we won't talk too much about silver. Silver is in rollover, rolling over to the May contract
April.
today. We were still trading Feb today, but we're rolling over to May. Another one that halted. We got somewhere up near 50% of that entire sell-off move. If we go swing high to low, that 47% sell-off. Anything you want to say about silver, Coach Paul? I'm good on this one.
So, I'll leave it at that. I'm
Go.
not
Oh,
trading it.
yeah, me
I
either.
It's been a great market,
Yeah,
but I can't afford the risk.
right, right.
I'll
That's
I'll choose this. May I choose not to take that risk.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's take a look
Uh,
then at crude oil, which has been a decent trade. Not a ton of geopolitical news out today that would have affected crude. What are you seeing here on the daily?
but we're slowing down. It's losing its upward momentum, still in a positive trend. This is almost forming a channel from those lows. Um, but right now, it was a small range today. So, oh well, look how fancy that is. What is that?
That's a fib channel. That is not what I was looking to do, but
I like it though.
there you have it. It looks like a kaleidoscope. What the hell is going on here? That is not what I was
Oh
trying to
wow!
do.
Oh, that's actually a GAN. Where'd you get that tool? I gotta study that. That's a GAN channel.
Uh, it's in the
So,
Fibonacci drawing tools. Four down. So three icons down on the drawing tools, and then fib channel. Uh,
all right, I got a new toy. All right,
what am I
so
reading here? Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna get distracted. Go ahead, Coach Paul. What are you seeing here on the daily?
well, you just measure from the bottom to the high of this. That it's in that channel.
Yeah,
Um, we're in the middle of that channel. We're taking a break. Overall, this is still an uptrend. It's it's slowing down. News of Iran is at the best conflicted.
yeah,
But I would put it this way: no big money wants to get caught short crude oil if
yeah,
missiles or the Suez Canal gets or the Straits of Hormuz are shut down.
right.
That's a that's a heart attack for oil,
Yeah,
literally. So lack of news, upward trend. There is no selling. Look, we're under the 200 on the half hour.
mhm,
We look at how tight that range is today.
yeah,
We got under that 200. We couldn't find buying, so I would. This is some profit taking.
yeah.
Um, but this isn't a dramatic sell off.
No, not at all. Decent trade. For me, Coach Paul, crude feels like it's not a trade until it is, right? And with the headlines that are coming out, I think I would prefer to be net long crude if I had to have exposure to it, but maybe more so on a swing trade than anything. For a day trade, it still trades well technically, and there actually was a ton of volume last night, um, in this 30-minute candle here. This was 10:30 last night, 10:30 Eastern time. I don't know what the headline was, but I actually want to show this on a shorter time frame because you guys know I like to look at volume on the 3-minute. We got a J trade here on the
Oh,
3-minute, right
wow.
at the highs, a reversal. This was 3,800 contracts in a 3-minute candle last night when there was nothing else going on, and you can see.
Was that State of the Union speech
I
time?
think he was. I think he was done. I think he might have been done, but it could have been. It could have been. But you can see how the market respects that volume. Everybody always asks why I trade volume. This is why, because I could come to a chart and say, well, I don't know what happened, but I know where it happened. I don't know why it happened, but I know where it happened, how much it happened, right? And then maybe taking some opportunities from there. So I would keep an eye on these prices, 66.26 at the low, 66.60 at the high. But again, you can see that rejection up there. Got some urgency, volume left that range almost immediately. Gave you a decent opportunity to sell against this VWAP or against the range on a rejection of it. But yeah, like I said, to me, Coach Paul, it feels like a trade. Not it's a no trade until it is, and it's usually off of one of these volume spikes that we see some opportunity.
Boy, put that in the dictionary next to J trade.
Yeah,
We don't see too many of those on the
on the sell
sell
side,
side.
no, we don't. We don't.
Um,
Um,
turn that upside down, and then
yeah, we're looking to buy that every time.
yep.
Risk goes on the other side. Again, for any of our new viewers, if you're wondering what a J trade is, it is a reversal off of high volume, usually at the lower the high of the day. How do we know it's a reversal? You don't until it is. You wait for that candle close. There's a candle close outside this range right here, and risk goes on the other side of that. But a really nice trade there. Got some
All right.
police sirens going on outside, fire trucks or something. All right. Any
You
other
might
markets
wanna
we want to talk
do you
about, Coach
smell
Paul?
smoke? Oh,
No.
Bitcoin. Because feel free to run out of the building.
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me just look out the window and make sure. But here you go. I'll
Okay.
leave you with the micro Bitcoin chart
All
here.
right.
You want a daily or a 30?
Let's start with the daily.
There you
Just
go.
give us a yell if you're running down those fire stairs.
I got you. Oh wow.
All
Look
right.
at the daily
Oh,
here.
yeah.
I'll be
Oh,
right back.
wow. Yeah. When I'll go over that, oh, wow. So we had that, going back, we see that huge selling spike. All right. So there's a flush on the sell side. I think almost an exhaustion. Now this is a daily. It took a little more time. We, we're inside this action from that daily. All right. Now let's go to the half hour. I want to go through what happened yesterday on the lows. All right. Now that was big volume at that time.
Yeah.
We were making lows. Oh, I gotta move. Ah, there we go.
Oh, got you. My bad.
There we
There you
go.
go.
So that was the highest. That was high volume on the lows. There's a J trade.
Hmm.
We have not given up on that. All right. So we were very compressed too.
Yeah.
I mean, then right after that, we had large buying. And this happened last night out of nowhere. Take a look. I mean, if we have time, take a look at a 5-minute bar on that.
That had to be something with the State of the Union there. Looking at that timing,
Look at that.
that's yeah,
Look at that.
and it held.
And it held.
Sometimes high
Now,
volume means continuation.
that's a lot of risk,
Yeah.
but watch what happens when we flatten out. We accept this through volume. VWAP. We don't have we hold this low, but when we later on in the day after we come if we look at it now, let's move back to the half hour. Yeah, you
Right.
see what I'm talking
Yeah. Oh
about.
yeah. Yeah. They're just. I mean, this was. I think it was
Above the 200 now. We
12,
have the
30,
breakout.
12 30-minute candles to the upside. 13, 13 30-minute candles, all green.
So it's on my playbook. I'm not just buying it blindly, but I think it has the appearance that the downside is over for now.
Uh,
It was a
came up to a big
great
level
trade.
here. Came up to a big level, 70,000. We can see the rejection off of 70,000. So what I'm looking at here is that's the highest volume 30-minute candle at the high of the day. Bitcoin is an interesting market. You were out yesterday, Coach Paul. We were talking about this towards the end of the session, and someone was asking, uh, are they going to get hurt trading micro Bitcoin? And could they trade it? And one of the things I mentioned yesterday, and you've mentioned this a ton, Bitcoin trades a lot like the equity markets, right? Let's look at
Yeah.
when the equities opened up. Here is so the flow already was to the upside by the time the equities opened up. We're above VWAP. This is a 5-minute. We can look at any time frame, but here's a 5-minute. We got no urgency to the downside. There's a rejection. I took a similar trade here in the Russell yesterday. I am getting more aggressive when I see this type of setup. When the volume I know comes in, we've already been uptrending for the day. When I know the high probability volume is going to come in and they fail to sell it, I'm starting to buy it down here and then just letting
He
it work.
who
And this is a beautiful.
sells
Right.
what isn't his'n buys it back or goes to prison.
Right.
It's an old saw from Jesse Livermore. And like, I love what you said. It just brought me back to that. When I see this,
Oh yeah.
I know.
It's like, oh, you got nothing for that selling. Great. Let's see if you could sell it higher. And there's been great opportunity in taking those trades again. Anything we say here is for educational and entertainment purposes only, not any trading or investment advice. Coach Hoop shared that risk disclosure early on. But again, micro Bitcoin, beautiful trade. I'm seeing it on the 5-minute already. Are we seeing a J trade play out right off of 70,000 right now?
It's time
Got to
will
stay tuned
tell.
to figure it out.
You gotta stay tuned.
Got to stay
All
tuned to figure
right.
it out. Anything else you got before we go, Coach Paul?
Plan your trade and trade your plan. And you'll be on the path soon enough.
Awesome
All
stuff.
right.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. If you are a new viewer, sorry the chat is broken right now. Would love to be able to talk back and forth with you all, but we appreciate you being here. If you could do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Tell your friends and family to like and subscribe as well. We got coaches doing classes in Discord after this. Coach Hoop at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Then we got Coach Ray and Coach Vince 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern time. Coach Dakota with Slow Markets tonight at 8:30. I will be joining him for that. And we got Aaron with the London Open 2:30 Eastern. D with the Euro Trade. Sorry, it is now called Metal Markets with D at 5:30 Eastern time. And we'll be back tomorrow for the opening call at 8:15. Trade well, everybody. Manage your risk. All tomorrow.